now you've seen a small introduction to Victorian melodrama. As is evident, my theatre tradition is Victorian melodrama, and I'm going to be exploring emotion through physicality and facial expressions. So, as the name suggests, Victorian melodrama developed during the reign of Queen Victoria in England during the 1700s, mid 1700s, around 1750s to 1770s. Um, this kind of theatre first started off as illegal theatre, but it was very popular among other kinds of theatre, which were comedy, farce, and burlesque to name a few. Um, Playwrights stole plays and stole plots from French and German drama, and plots from English and French novels, and created them into melodramatic plays because the demand for such theatre was this high. Um, during the 1750s, London had the Licensing Act, which allowed only two theatres in London to show theatre. Which out of which one was the Drury Lane Theatre, and the other was the Covent Garden Theatre. But because of the fact that these theatres were really expensive and were meant for aristocrats and showed much more aristocratic drama, um, the working classes that were coming into London during the Industrial Revolution um, wanted other kind of theatre which they could afford. So, because of the enormous inflow of these working classes, illegal theatre started up all across London, all across England, where people showed theatre that was not really accepted by the government. So melodrama, what did the creators of melodrama do to circumvent the law was add music to it. So they sold drama in the form of musical entertainment. That is how melodrama developed, and the the demand for melodrama was very high. The audience was not surprised at all during the whole thing. I mean, they knew what's going to happen in every melodrama. There's a hero and a villain, and there's a hero and a villain and a heroine and a sidekick and some sidekicks, and the villain wants a heroine, the heroine wants to be with the hero, and there's this whole thing which happens, and where the hero and heroine are in trouble because of the villain, and they try to get across it, and they do, and the villain dies or is hurt and whatever. So they knew that every melodrama is going to follow that path. So they were surprised and they loved it. Also, because most of the working classes in the Victorian age looked like this, um, they were really exploited by the aristocratic people, and there were like a few rules about melodrama where the hero was from the working classes. It was not made. Victorian melodrama was not about character mostly. It was more about excuse me, democrat versus aristocrat, good versus evil. It was about being rich is evil and being poor is humble and good. So most of the heroes were from the working class, so that the audience could connect to the heroes and heroines and come to know them, while sorry, while they hated the villains because the villains were aristocrats. They looked something like this, with all being all dressed up and knowing what to do, and all the jewels and everything. So this was their way of taking revenge on the aristocrats. Um, Victorian melodrama also, um, the Victorian melodrama also had a lot of emotion in it, as is evident from the name melodrama, and as we know about it. This was actually mainly important because after the Licensing Act was abolished, many theaters were allowed to portray Victorian melodrama. They were allowed to portray melodrama and other kinds of theatre, and melodrama was very, very popular with a lot of theatres in England as they saw the increase of demand. So, as we saw earlier, the Drury Lane Theatre looks like this, which has a lot of audience around and this small stage in between. So, the actors had to make sure that everyone understood what's happening and the emotions got across to the audience. So their emotions were heightened, their facial expressions were heightened, so the audience knew what's happening. A certain set of hand gestures and facial expressions could show the audience that the people, the actors, the characters are exploring, are experiencing this certain kind of emotion. Moreover, the music, sorry, the music underlining these emotions, these emotions and the plot would tell the audience what is happening. So the audience would be in the loop and the audience would participate, as is very common in Victorian melodrama because there's a lot of audience participation when the audience boos the villains and yeas the hero and the heroine and participates in the whole thing, the whole play. Um, the first Victorian melodrama to be written was A Tale of Mysteries by Thomas Hall Croft, and